underneath the wonder of it all, there's a dry, arid, cold philosophy, which basically is, you know, we've arrived by accident from nowhere. We're clever monkeys clinging to a rock, hurtling through space on the way to oblivion. We're here for a second, long enough to go, what the, and then we're gone. Now, more and more people, even though they're not thinking about it, underneath are going, that's reality.
One of the most important things about making sense of ourselves is coming to understand the full depth of our own identity. And this is something that we've been a bit reluctant to do. It's like a taboo in our society, a bit like the elephant in the room that no one talks about. But it's not just in the room, it's in the whole culture. And in this film, Tim Freke talks about our deeper identity and how understanding it is key to expanding our experience as human beings.
Life felt to me when I was young, well, still does, like some gigantic question. What is it? What should I do with it? Why am I alive? What is death? All those. And what astonished me as a child was that no one around me was asking those questions. Everyone seemed to be in a coma, going about their lives as if they knew what this is. But do we really know what it is, actually?
Tim Freke describes himself as a stand-up philosopher. He has written and co-authored over 30 books, including The Jesus Mysteries and How Long Is Now.
One of the great failures of spirituality is it keeps looking backward. It's developed this fantasy that somehow people knew it in the past and we've lost it. You get to this crazy idea that the truth was written down once and for all in some book, and if only we could get back to understanding what this book meant, often a translation of a translation of a translation. I mean, things, and crazy things in the book. I mean, things which are so part of our past but no longer part of our present. You end up with a kind of madness. Don't just look at the world objectively. Don't just go, what is it? But also look at the world subjectively, who go, what am I? Who look back into the self, into the soul, into being, to come up with a better way of seeing reality, which can supplement this objectivist view and bring back the wonder, bring back the magic, because life, it seems to me, is totally full of wonder and magic. We've got a ever more powerful, secular, scientific, objectivist view of the world, which on the one hand I love because it's very rigorous, it's achieved so much, and has left us with a philosophy underneath the wonder of it all. There's a dry, arid, cold philosophy, which basically is, you know, we've arrived by accident from nowhere. We're clever monkeys clinging to a rock, hurtling through space on the way to oblivion. We're here for a second, long enough to go, what the, and then we're gone. Life is far from a bleak, empty, meaningless journey. It is actually an intensely meaningful, beautiful, significant journey. And that death is not a banal end to a short life, but the climax to the journey. So a lot of ideas that you see in spirituality is something to get rid of. There's an ego, there's a separate self, there's a personal thing. Get rid of it. And I thought that for years. So I'd vacillate between awakening and, oh, it's wow, wonderful, and then, oh, I'm back in this Tim guy, damn it. I'm going to just get rid of this. And then he wouldn't go, and oh, I'm no good. And it doesn't seem like that at all now. It feels like, oh, look, these two sit side by side. And Tim is making the journey of discovering this more and more. So one of the things I feel for people is like, let's relax. Let the separate self be the separate self. It's fine. In fact, it's more than fine. It's really quite beautiful. For all its ambiguity, it's actually beautiful. I find nearly everyone can just step into it, given the opportunity. Because in the deep awake state there is a profound safety, I can take the risk to be a human being. Because being a human being is a very vulnerable thing. So there's a feeling of wanting to pull back or tighten or resist. The more I wake up, the more I feel this deep self, which is very safe. And that gives me the confidence to take the risk on being Tim. Even though I know Tim's going to make mistakes, I know that he'll get hurt, I know that it's going to end in death, I can take that risk because I find the safety in the other pole of my nature, in the deep self. The opposites coexist and they interpenetrate, and that interpenetration of the opposites is life. I'm lucky enough to live in a very quirky town in the southwest of England called Glastonbury, which is has been a centre for spirituality, I mean, going right back to ancient pagan times, and has many little magical places. And one of my favourite is a little garden called Chalice Well. They've created this garden which embodies in the landscape deep ideas in spirituality. The water at the well is said to be healing water. It probably is, because it's full of iron. In mythology, the reason it's so red is not just because of the iron, but because the chalice, the Holy Grail, was hidden there by Joseph of Arimathea, who came to Glastonbury and dropped it down the well. And it's a lovely story, and these myths are deep things. I love it. I love it that the imagination, that we manifest the imagination. If anything is, this is the know yourself and show yourself. The show yourself is manifest the imagination. And one of the little thoughts I often love, and you can get it when you walk around a beautiful garden like Chalice Well, but equally sitting in this room, is that we live in the imagination, in other people's imagination as well. That everything around me, my clothes, the lights, my chair, the table, the carpet, the ceiling, the building, all of this has gone through the imagination.